Stay tuned and let's check out this Marvel Legends Spider-Man retro carded Lizard. Pow, and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who, and remember you can now hit that join button and become a channel member as well. Either show some love or join the members club. Much appreciated. Today we are checking out the Marvel Legends Spider-Man retro carded Lizard, who is a part of this year's summer program celebrating 60 amazing years of Spider-Man, represented by that sticker on the front of the box. Now, over in the US, this is a Walmart exclusive, but I'm in the UK. That means no Walmarts, it is not an exclusive, and it is in stock and available all over the place right now. I brought mine from In Demand Toys. I will put the link in the description, but definitely don't miss out on this guy. As Hasbro move into a plastic-free era, we really don't know how long we've got with these very nostalgic retro cards, so pick them up while you can. And I think Lizard on this Spider-Man card is a great choice, as I remember him from the animated show, but it's also a more accurate comic version of Lizard for your collection as well, which I will get into. But let's just take a moment to appreciate this glorious retro card while we can, with Lizard on the front of the box. I'm still surprised they went for like a smaller single Lizard rather than the Build-A-Figure on a deluxe packaging, but I'm glad to see all new pieces here. He comes with 2 heads, 2 beakers, a couple of hands, a long bendy wire tail. The packaging reads Lashing Lizard. On the back of the box we get that throwback stencil, a picture of Lizard, and a write-up that reads, desperate to be whole again, geneticist Kurt Connors injects himself with a regenerative serum derived from reptile DNA, only to find himself transformed into a monstrous Lizard. I honestly won't be happy until we get all Spider-Man villains on this retro card, and Lizard brings us one step closer. So let's get them open. So here we have Lizard out of the packaging with all of his accessories on the table. Now, first things first, we need to plug his tail in, as that comes as a separate piece. And I will remind you, it is a bendy wire tail, so it will bend and flex a little bit as well, which I like to see. Definitely gives you more posing options. So let's plug that in. Simple stuff. On the back of Lizard, you will see a gap in the lab coat with basically a peg sticking out his ass. There's no other way to put it. There is a peg sticking out his ass, and there is a hole in the tail, and you basically plug them in like so, and there you go. It's in there, and then the lab coat will sit nicely over the tail. That works pretty well. And the advantage of a long bendy wire tail means it will help him stand and stabilize him when you get him into some more dynamic poses. So that really will make a difference, and I like that. Also, in regards to height, while he's standing up straight there, you can see he's about 6.5 inches tall, so sort of standard Marvel Legends size, no issues with that. As you start posing him around, obviously that will change. But I did mention at the start that this particular face sculpt represented his first appearance. So let me try and explain that. This look for Lizard is inspired by his first appearance way back in 1963 in The Amazing Spider-Man #6. Peter Parker's close friend and former teacher, Dr. Kurt Connors, accidentally turns himself into a reptilian lizard-like creature during an experiment to grow back one of his missing arms. The Lizard is one of Spider-Man's oldest and deadliest foes, yet Spidey never gives up hope of curing his friend. So let's start by zooming in and taking a closer look at this first appearance Lizard head sculpt, because at first I thought it looked a little bit goofy, but honestly in person, when you compare it to the source material, Hasbro have nailed it. Now, it may not be your mind's eye of Lizard all the same, but people are really going to appreciate these display options. So I love the way that all these scales are individually sculpted, and then he's been hit with like a dark wash to really bring out the details. I love the snout, I love the pink mouth as well, just open barely, and then the white beady eyes. He's on a dumbbell joint on the neck and on the head, so you get lots of range whether you want him to look up or bury the chin. And he's a reptilian creature, so expect lots of range and lots of tilt on the neck, etc. So yeah, really like it like this. But of course, it's Lizard. It's been portrayed many ways and gets a little bit more ferocious as time goes on, and Hasbro did give us a choice. This second head sculpt is definitely more my kind of Lizard, as it's a little bit more intimidating looking, with the sharp teeth, the tongue sticking out as well, which is made of a softer plastic, which is a nice touch, and then the yellow reptilian eyes. In the animated show, he actually had red eyes, so again, if I'm being nitpicky, it would have been nice to have these in red eyes, but the scales are still individually sculpted with that dark wash on them to really bring out the detail. So again, very sort of dinosaur-like, but definitely more of a modernized, more vicious looking lizard, and I think a lot of people's preferred choice on the shelf. But as I said, we have options, lots of range. The neck hasn't got the dark wash on it, which I should point out as well, so it doesn't sort of blend in together as flush as it could do because they missed out on the dark wash on the neck. But again, it's not noticeable as he's got the big white collar on anyway. But yes, we have options. So you can either have this more modernized, ferocious, vicious looking lizard with the sharp teeth and the tongue sticking out, or you can take it back old school with the classic first appearance lizard head sculpt, which again looks a little bit funny but spot on to how he first appeared, and it's always nice to have those options. Let me know in the comments below. Taking a look at the rest of Lizard, he really does look nice in hand, very aesthetically pleasing because he is completely pinless double jointed elbows, pinless double jointed knees. But yeah, this is all brand new as well, people. Like really nice figure. I want to comment as well on how nicely the lab coat sits flush on the body, and it's made of a soft enough plastic that it's not going to hinder or get in the way of the articulation, because of course the arms are sculpted pieces to match the lab coat, and they leave enough room up top at the shoulder there where you can see you can get the shoulders way past 90 on both sides, which is going to allow you to get into some great lizard sort of leaping poses. Of course, you've got the bicep swivel, the double jointed elbow on either side, which is so nice. Again, completely pinless. And then I love the sleeves as they're like ripped up and teared, and you can see the lizard arm sort of just underneath creeping through. Again, sculpted with the scales and whatnot as well. The t-shirt's all black, and instead of a waistcoat, you've got the diaphragm ball joint up top and then a waist ab crunch. So the ab crunch has moved down, should I say, which allows for like so much. Look at that. Crazy lean forward there, which is going to get him into some great poses as you want your lizard sort of crawling on the floor. Trademark purple trousers with that same sort of tattered pattern at the bottom to reveal those lizardy ankles with a big lizard feet. The arms and the legs don't have any of the dark wash on like the feet or the hands, unfortunately. Sort of match the neck. The tail's got some nice detail, as you know, a bit of wash to bring out this sort of texture, and then underneath the texture's different again, so it sort of shows you. And again, that will twist on the peg, and it looks so natural and nice with how the lab coat sort of sits over it. So yeah, no complaints here. This lizard, look how far the legs go up, like crazy. And again, double jointed knees, pinless, great articulation here, ankle pivot rocker. There is even a swivel there where the boot would be underneath the trousers, very cleverly hidden. But yeah, you're gonna have to get this guy into some great poses, undoubtedly. Out of the box, he comes with two open palm hands, which are very expressive, which will allow him to get into some great poses, sort of like splayed out on the floor, especially this hand that's a little bit more flush, where this one is a little bit more clenched up, and I guess that will hold one of his beakers. The other interchangeable hands are one fist and then one sort of gripping hand, which again, I assume to hold his beaker. So this guy, he comes with 4 unique hands, no sets at all. So it's a shame that we don't get like a set of splayed out hands or a set of fisted hands. That would have been nice. His other accessories are, of course, those beakers, the same ones that came with Blue Beast as well, just different colors. So we got a yellow one and then we got a red one as well. Remember, they have the peg at the top so you can plug in any smoke effects you may have. And just to confirm, they are the exact same beakers that come with Beast, apart from his are purple and green. So now we have a nice little science kit going on. So I've took the lab coat off Lizard, as it is a soft plastic piece. It will come off no problem at all. And before I send back Beast, because I promise I'm sending him back this week, I've still got his lab coat. So just out of curiosity, a bit of fun, let's see if this lab coat will fit on Lizard. And as you can see, Hank is always embarrassed when people try on his lab coat because it never works. It is too big for everybody, including Lizard. So it would have looked great with a soft good sort of jacket here with the articulation this guy has, but it's just way too big. It's all bunched up and just sort of swallows him whole, unfortunately. So even those big hands get swallowed up by the sleeves. So yeah, unfortunately, Beast lab coat will not work with Lizard, but it was a nice idea. And let's bring in the Build-A-Figure from a good few years ago for a straight up Lizard comparison. So as you can see, the same character, but two drastically different styles and versions of the character, as the previous one was a lot bigger, bulkier. He was a Build-A-Figure, of course, but he was also stuck in this sort of crouched over position because because the legs were very limiting with articulation. You actually had to use his tail as like a stand just to get him to sort of look decent. But I do love the articulated jaw, of course. That's a feature that even this lizard doesn't have. But yeah, undoubtedly very ferocious, very menacing, and definitely a more modernized lizard compared to this sort of classic approach, which, as I said, I really do like the sort of clean, slick style of this version. So this, even though it doesn't have the red eyes, definitely gives me the animated vibe with Kurt Connors. And of course, you could keep both lizards in the collection, swap out the heads, and have this as like a first appearance lizard. We've got so many versions of Spider-Man and so many different versions of villains. We could build multiple displays at this point. So there's definitely room for both on a display, depending on your preference in style. This one obviously has the bendy wire on the tail. This one just had like points of articulation, but as I said, it's basically a glorified kickstand. They've both got nice sculpted detail. I would say the Build-A-Figure has better sculpted detail and better paint in regards to the green. It's like a dirtier, darker green compared to the more vibrant sort of animated style on this one. So yeah, both of them find their place in the display for me. Both clearly lizard with the sort of lab coat and the purple trousers, but yeah, drastically different styles. Let me know in the comments which version of lizard you prefer, a retro lizard or Build-A-Figure lizard. Here we have Lizard compared to some more retro Spider-Man figures with Electro and Shocker. And then here we have retro Hobgoblin and Jackal because he's green. Here we have Venom and Carnage. Here we have Peter Parker. And now they've got their costumes on as we have Spider-Man and Spinneret. And let's just take a second to appreciate how good these two look together. Super nostalgic. That's what it's all about. And then here we have White Rabbit, Tigra and Frogman. And last but not least, never least, Captain Britain and Hal, Fire, Hank. I don't think you should mix those, mate. So, final thoughts on this Marvel Legends Spider-Man retro carded lizard. Now, you guys know I love the retro card. Long may it continue, so I won't harp on about that. But the figure itself is outstanding. Beautifully executed, represents the source material really well. It is very aesthetically pleasing, lots of accessories, and just fun. It has the fun factor. When you compare it to the Build-A-Figure, which is big and imposing, I grant you, but it's also very limiting, where this is just more fun, more posing options, more display options, and just wait until you get it in hand, people. You will not be disappointed. And again, completely pinless, great range of articulation, lots of accessories. I don't mean to harp on, but it's also on the retro card. Like, it's just win, win, win. So for me, if I had to pick between the two and only have one lizard in my collection, it genuinely would be this one. This is more my mind's eye of the lizard. But again, there's people out there that may have a certain attachment to a certain version of the lizard, as he has been drawn many different ways. But for me, it always goes back to that 90s animated show. And Lizard was a big guy, but I do think that this figure here represents it much better. I just wish we got an interchangeable head with the red eyes to really match that animated show. But again, that's just me being picky. For a comic display, this lizard is going to beautifully fit in our Spider-Man Rogues gallery. So you let me know what you think in the comments below. Is it missing anything? I would have loved like interchangeable parts to make a Kurt Connors if that would have been possible. Maybe, I don't know. But you let me know what you think in the comments below. And as always, people, if you like Marvel Legends, then you're in the right place. Check out the videos tab, find the playlists, but most importantly, please, 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 hit that subscribe button. Much appreciated. Hit the notification bell. Don't miss out on a video. And hit that join button. Become a channel member. Either show some love or join the members club. Much, much appreciated. Honestly, hit that join button and then come and join me on a live stream. Honestly, join the channel that you are supporting. It is that simple. You can follow me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. And I'm on Twitter as well, at Dan Who Reviews. And until then, people, my name is Dan W. And I will, of course, see you on the next one.